What's up everyone, welcome to Workshop Rebuild. In today's video, I'll be coating this small aluminum part with a very special product. The product I'll be using is called Cerakote. This is a polymer ceramic based coating, which will be applied in a very thin layer on the substrate, in this case, aluminum or metal. As you guys can tell, this part is very small and I don't want to use too much of this product since it's only a test, and I don't want to have too much overspray. And that's another reason why I'll be using an airbrush for the application method. Right now, I'll walk you through everything that I laid out on this table to prep for Cerakote, and later on, I'll be applying it. On the far left of this table, I have the airbrush, which I picked up on Amazon. If you guys would like to have this yourself, click the link down below in the description. It is a cheap version, or it is a cheap airbrush, so I hope it does the job just fine. Further down below, I have a hook to hang up this part once it's curing. I have a utility knife and some masking tape to mask up the back end. Because this is a gasket surface, I do not want to coat this. I only want to coat the edge and the front face, and obviously for test purposes. Now over here, I have 3 color swatches, which I got at Cerakote. You can always have 5 color swatches if you order any color. So I chose these 3 right now. I have a blue. This is not for this project, but it might be for an upcoming project. Now over here, I was deciding between these 2 grays or silvers. And as you can see, this one is far more reflective than the one on the left. If I flip them around, you guys will see the names. This one is called Glacier Silver. That's what I went with. And this is Satin Nickel. So when we look at it from a distance, they both look the same, but if we shine some light on them, the top one is far more shiny. And I chose this because I matched it to my brand new valve cover, and it's very close. And that's another reason why I chose Glacier Silver as the color. I will be coating the valve cover as well, so don't you worry. I just wanted to share with you guys the color that I chose in today's video, and that's how it should look like later on. Now, this is the Cerakote bottle. This is 1 pint. Since I will be coating the engine and many other components, I will need quite a bit. So I hope this is enough for everything. If you guys order up Cerakote, they do recommend you filter out or strain this coating before you put it into your air gun or your airbrush. So the recommended filter or strainer for this C7700 coating is a 100 mesh strainer. I kept this in here so it doesn't get dirty, but I will be using that to fill it into the airbrush. Before you go ahead and coat your parts, it's really important that you blast your parts in the sandblaster or in a vapor blaster. But what's really important is the media that you choose. This right here is crushed glass, and that's what I used in the wet blasting cabinet. The crushed glass will allow you to have a rough surface, and that will accept the Cerakote perfectly. If you guys choose a glass bead, it might not adhere as good as a crushed glass. So just take that in consideration as you're prepping your parts. After you guys are done blasting your parts, you want to make sure that they are oil free. And to do that, I'm going to be using acetone. I'm going to dump it in here, and I'm also going to put my part in there and let it soak for a couple minutes. I'm going to take it out of there, but I'm also going to make sure I'm using nitrile gloves to do that, because I don't want my oils from my fingers to go back onto the part. So once you're done with the acetone, just make sure you don't touch them with your bare hands to introduce oils back onto the part. Another thing I'm going to be using in today's video is a respirator. So once I'm coating the parts, I'm going to be using a respirator, and I'm going to be using the same nitrile gloves as I'm coating this part. I hope I gave you guys enough information on all the products that I'll be using in today's video and all the steps that you need to take in consideration to prep for Cerakote. Right now, I'll share with you guys a time lapse on how I do this, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. So let's get right into it. So it's been about half an hour since I coated this part with the Cerakote Glacier Silver. I let this cure closer to the wooden stove in the shop because that's the warmest part of the shop. Right now it's dry to the touch, but Cerakote does recommend you let it cure for 24 hours before handling and whatnot. Cerakote also recommends you cure this for another 5 days to let it fully harden. And I will do that because I'm not in any rush, so I'll let it cure for at least a week probably, and then I should be good to even assemble this part onto the engine block. But we'll get to that in another video. In the meantime, while this was curing closer to the wooden stove, I was actually cleaning up the airbrush and the strainer because you want to clean off all the excess Cerakote so it doesn't harden onto your tools. The Cerakote cleaned up actually pretty easy with acetone, so I would just recommend clean up your tools right after you're done spraying your parts. But right now I'll give you guys a close-up view on this part and compare it to the valve cover that I have over here on the table. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but in person this looks very close, and I'm really satisfied with the finish of this Cerakote Glacier Silver finish. That is very similar to any OEM finish on the BMW R60/5 engine parts. Now, if we take in consideration how this engine looked like beforehand, this is how it looked like. This is 50 years of use, and I blasted it with a crushed glass media, and that's this section right here. So when we put this next to each other, you will notice this is still darker than a brand new part. I'm not exactly sure if the OEM parts from BMW looked like this on the right, but this is how the aftermarket parts look like right here. The valve cover and the oil filter cover look very similar, at least the finish does. If I share with you guys a top-down view, it's really hard to cast a shadow on the flat surface of the oil filter cover, but it looks very similar, and I'm really pleased with the finish and the overall appearance. I gotta give credit to Cerakote, especially for their Glacier Silver color. This product is basically the same color as an OEM or an aftermarket valve cover right here, so I'm really pleased with the finish. The way it laid down was actually even better than paint. I've never experienced a color that was actually that thin but covered so well. I'm not sure how to describe this. I'm not sponsored by Cerakote at all. But it laid down super easy and it was user friendly. I'm doing this for the first time. That airbrush was never used before, so I knocked it out with that airbrush and with Cerakote for the first time, and I'm really happy with the results. When I was looking through Cerakote's colors, I was deciding between Glacier Silver and Satin Nickel. Cerakote does offer a lot of customer pictures and they put them up on their website, so you can actually see the applications where Cerakote is used, but you can also differentiate the colors online. These two colors online looked so similar to me, or at least on my computer it was very hard to figure out, but I'm super satisfied that I actually chose Glacier Silver because it is the closest color to the valve cover. If you guys want to go with Satin Nickel, just remember this is a little bit more gray. Even though it has a little bit of metallic in it, it is far more gray. The Glacier Silver is just overall much more shiny. So that's the way you guys can differentiate these two, and I hope you guys saw that earlier on in this video. So that basically sums up this video. If you guys have any questions about Cerakote or this process in general, drop a comment down below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below as well. It helps this channel grow a little bit and reach more people. So with that said, I'll see you guys in an upcoming video. Peace.